January 7, 1943. Room 3327 of the Hotel New Yorker. A maid ignores the Do Not Disturb sign for 2 days before she finally goes in. Inside, she finds an 86-year-old man, alone, dead for at least a day. No family beside him. No fanfare. Just pigeons outside the window he used to feed by hand. Every one of those lights, that hum, that charge, all of it runs on a system this man invented. He electrified the modern world. And he died with 80 cents to his name. This is the story of Nikola Tesla, and it's not really a story about electricity. It's a story about what genius costs. Tesla was born in the middle of a lightning storm, in a village called Smiljan, in what's now Croatia. The midwife supposedly called him a child of the storm. His mother thought it was a bad omen. His father was an Orthodox priest. His mother, Duca, never went to school, but she could recite entire epic poems from memory and built her own mechanical tools for the house. Tesla always said his gift came from her. But there was a shadow over his childhood. His older brother, Dane, was the golden child, brilliant, favored, until he died in a horse-riding accident when Tesla was still young. Tesla spent much of his life feeling like he was living in the space his brother left behind, trying to prove he deserved to exist at all. And then there was his mind. Tesla could visualize entire machines, fully built, fully rotating, tested and refined, without ever touching a tool. He said he could run one of his inventions in his head for weeks, check it for wear, and only then build it in the real world. It's a rare kind of gift. It's also, by his own account, exhausting. His visions sometimes came with blinding flashes of light he couldn't turn off. At Graz Polytechnic, Tesla developed a gambling addiction, lost his scholarship money, and eventually had what his family described as a full nervous collapse. He left without a degree. For a while, his family didn't even know where he was. He rebuilt himself in Budapest, working for a telephone company. And it was there, during a walk in a park, reciting Goethe's Faust to a friend, according to the story he told for the rest of his life, that the entire idea came to him in a single vision: a rotating magnetic field. The principle behind alternating current motors. The thing that would define the rest of his life, arriving all at once, like a lightning strike. In 1884, Tesla arrived in America with, as the story goes, 4 cents in his pocket and a letter of introduction to Thomas Edison. The letter reportedly read, "I know 2 great men. You are one of them. The other is this young man." Edison hired him. And according to Tesla, Edison offered him $50,000, an enormous sum at the time, if he could redesign Edison's inefficient DC generators. Tesla did it. When he asked for the money, Edison allegedly told him he didn't understand American humor. Tesla quit on the spot. Within months, the man who would reshape the world's power grid was digging ditches for $2 a day just to survive. This is the pattern that defines Tesla's entire life. The breakthrough, the betrayal, and the quiet, dignified refusal to compromise his vision anyway. Tesla found a new backer, George Westinghouse, who licensed Tesla's alternating current patents. And that set off one of the strangest corporate wars in American history, the War of Currents. Edison had built his empire on direct current, DC. It was safe over short distances but couldn't travel far. Tesla's AC could travel for miles with almost no power loss. Edison knew what that meant for his business, and he fought back, not with better engineering, but with fear. Edison's camp staged public electrocutions of animals to convince the country that alternating current was a killer. They lobbied to have AC used in the first electric chair, hoping the public would forever associate Tesla's invention with execution. They coined a verb: to be Westinghoused meant to be electrocuted. It was, by modern standards, one of the first real smear campaigns in American industrial history. And for a while, it worked. Then came 1893, the Chicago World's Fair. Westinghouse and Tesla won the contract to light the entire exposition. Nearly 100,000 lamps, powered by AC, turning night into day for millions of visitors. It was the safest, most spectacular demonstration imaginable. The fear campaign started to crack. 2 years later, Tesla's AC system harnessed Niagara Falls itself, transmitting electricity over 20 miles to power the city of Buffalo. It was proof, undeniable and public. Tesla's system didn't just work. It was the future. He'd won. And it nearly bankrupted him doing it. With the win at Niagara, Tesla became a celebrity, the wizard, newspapers called him. And free from Edison's shadow, his mind went somewhere almost nobody else's could follow. He built coils that shot lightning across rooms for fun. In 1898, at an exhibition in Madison Square Garden, he unveiled something the crowd genuinely believed was magic. A small boat he steered by radio waves, with no visible connection to it at all. He called it a teleautomaton. Today, we'd call it the first radio-controlled robot. Visual, radio towers, then a courtroom sketch. He also built the technology behind radio itself, years before Marconi would become famous for it. It took until 1943, months after Tesla's death, for the US Supreme Court to formally rule that Marconi's key patents were invalid, and that Tesla's work came first. But Tesla's real obsession wasn't fame. It was a single, almost utopian idea. What if energy could be transmitted through the air itself, freely, to everyone, everywhere, no wires, no meters, no monopoly? That idea became Wardenclyffe Tower, on Long Island. J.P. Morgan funded it, believing he was investing in a transatlantic communication system he could profit from. When Morgan realized Tesla's actual goal was free energy for the whole world, nothing to sell, he pulled the funding. The tower was never finished. It was torn down for scrap metal in 1917. This is the moment worth sitting with. Tesla wasn't undone by a lack of genius. He was undone by refusing to make his genius profitable. In his later decades, Tesla drifted from hotel to hotel, the Waldorf Astoria, the St. Regis, the Hotel Pennsylvania, often leaving unpaid bills behind, sometimes leaving inventions as collateral instead of cash. He became famous for his rituals. He required a stack of exactly 18 napkins at every meal. He calculated the volume of his food before eating it. He couldn't stand to be near round objects, or pearl jewelry, or human hair. He shook almost no one's hand. And every day, he fed the pigeons of New York City. He grew attached to one white pigeon in particular. In his later years, he told close friends he loved her. His words, the way a man loves a woman. When she died, he said, a light came from her eyes brighter than he had ever produced in his lab. It's easy to laugh at this. It's harder, and probably more honest, to sit with what it says. A man capable of reshaping the physical world lived, at the end, with almost no human closeness at all, and poured that need for connection into a bird. On his birthdays, he'd invite journalists to his hotel and announce inventions he claimed could end war forever. A teleforce weapon, a death ray that could down aircraft hundreds of miles away. He never built one. The press stopped calling him a wizard and started calling him something closer to a fantasist. Which brings us back to where we started. January 1943. A man who helped build the modern electrical grid, who arguably invented radio, who demonstrated remote control 40 years before it had a name, dies alone, in debt, in a hotel room. There's a detail here that feels almost too poetic to be real, but it's true. The room number was 3327. Tesla, obsessed his entire life with the number 3, died in a room that was, digit by digit, divisible by it. Within hours of his death, US government agents seized his papers, worried enemy powers might get hold of whatever he'd been working on in isolation. Much of it was eventually deemed unremarkable and returned to his family. Some of it, depending on who you ask, was never fully accounted for. Here's the uncomfortable question underneath this whole story. Tesla wasn't destroyed by a lack of talent, or even by bad luck. He was undone, again and again, by the gap between what he believed the world should be, open, shared, electrified for everyone, and what the world was actually built to reward, which was ownership, patents, and profit. Edison, the pragmatist, died wealthy and world-famous. Tesla, the idealist, died in a hotel room with pigeons for company. History doesn't always reward the person who saw furthest. Sometimes it rewards the person who was willing to sell what they saw. And yet, we measure magnetic fields in Teslas today. Every AC outlet in your home is a small, quiet monument to a man who insisted, against every financial incentive in front of him, that some things shouldn't have a price tag. Maybe that's the real question this story leaves us with. Not was Tesla a genius, that's not really in doubt. But what does it cost to hold onto a vision the world isn't ready to pay for? And would you keep holding onto yours? There is a tendency to turn Nikola Tesla into a myth. The lonely genius. The forgotten inventor. The man who was always right while the rest of the world simply failed to understand him. But the truth is more complicated, and, in many ways, far more human. Tesla wasn't perfect. He could be stubborn. He was uncompromising to the point of self-destruction. He trusted ideas more than business, visions more than practical realities. He dreamed so far into the future that the present often became an inconvenience. Some of his later claims stretched beyond what he could prove, and the world slowly stopped listening, not because he had stopped being brilliant, but because it became harder to separate the possible from the impossible. That's the tragedy. Not that Tesla failed, but that the same qualities that made him extraordinary also made it difficult for him to survive in the world he was trying to change. And yet, look around you. The irony is impossible to ignore. The wireless devices we carry every day, the power grids connecting entire nations, remote-controlled machines, electric motors hidden inside elevators, washing machines, factories, and electric cars. Pieces of Tesla's imagination surround us so completely that we rarely stop to notice them. His greatest inventions became so successful that they became invisible. That's the strange fate of every revolutionary idea. Once it changes the world forgets it ever needed changing. History often celebrates the people who finish the race. But progress is usually built by those willing to start one no one else can even see. Tesla spent his life chasing a horizon that always seemed just out of reach. Sometimes he arrived decades too early. Sometimes he aimed so high that no technology of his era could follow him. But being ahead of your time carries a hidden cost. The future cannot reward you until it finally catches up. History often celebrates the people who finish the race. But progress is usually built by those willing to start one no one else can even see. Tesla spent his life chasing a horizon that always seemed just out of reach. Sometimes he arrived decades too early. Sometimes he aimed so high that no technology of his era could follow him. But being ahead of your time carries a hidden cost. The future cannot reward you until it finally catches up. Perhaps that's the measure of a life. Not the size of your fortune. Not the awards on your shelf. Not even whether history remembers your face. But whether something you created continues to make life better long after you've disappeared. Tesla once said, "The present is theirs. The future, for which I really worked, is mine." At the time, those words may have sounded like the wish of an aging inventor. Today, they sound almost prophetic. Maybe every generation is given a choice. To build only what the world already understands. Or to risk everything on an idea that may not be appreciated until long after we're gone. Nikola Tesla made his choice. He gave the future a little more light than the present was willing to pay for. And every time we flip a switch, every time a city awakens after sunset, every time invisible currents carry power across mountains, oceans, and continents, we are living inside the future he imagined. Some people invent machines. Others invent the future. Nikola Tesla did both.
Thanks for watching.